Hello operators, it's Elliot from Black Ops GPS with a video on one of your app's features today called Live Map. So when you first open your app, it's going to go into the main screen, which is going to show you the 4 states of your asset. So that's either it's moving, it's at idle, which means it's running but it's not moving, it's stopped, which is fairly self-explanatory, or it's offline, which means there's something wrong with the device, it's disconnected, the Balac's got a flat battery and the device somehow has a flat battery. That's why it would be offline. Anyway, we're going to click stopped because our vehicle is in fact stopped, and we're going to select the asset 1290 Super Duke, which is my bike, and that vehicle is in a stop position. Now when I open it up, it's going to show me firstly the options that I have with that bike, and this is what we're going to talk about. The first option being Live Map. So when I click that and I open it up, it's going to bring up a live map, and that map is based off Google Maps system. So it's a very well developed mapping system. When you open that up, you're going to get to see all of the status information of your bike or your car or your boat or your trailer or your caravan or whatever you wired this device up to. And you're going to scroll down and you can have a look at, you know, its connection status first. So does it have cellular connection? Does it have satellite connection? Is the immobilizer engaged? So do we have the RIU unit actually hooked up so it won't run? Is parking mode activated? Have there been any alerts? So that's what all of the information at the bottom is, as well as the odometer since you installed it. And just that it's pretty self-explanatory, some basic stuff. Then back up to the map side of it, on the right hand side here, you've got things like satellite overview. So if we click that, obviously it's like Google Earth, where you look at it from a satellite perspective. And then if you click the option below it, that is like just traffic data. So like, you know, what's the traffic like in the area where the asset is right now. So just basic Google Maps features. On the left hand side, the little blue symbol, if you click that, that is directions to your asset. So if you click on that, it's going to bring you up a link to Google Maps, to open Maps up and give you live directions from where you are right now to where your asset is located. So this might be something that if you've lost it, you could use this to find it. If it's been stolen, obviously you're going to use this to track it down. Or if for whatever reason you're getting someone else to pick up your asset or whatever, you could then share it, which is the link directly below it is share. So if you go down and click that share link, it'll bring up all the options to share. So email, SMS, messenger, like all of the typical sharing options, where it'll send you a encrypted link to that particular asset, which is like a one-time use thing that you can then send on to whoever is going to track it down. So if it was stolen, for example, and you were liaising with police to try and use the immobilization unit, shut it down, and then have them intercepted at that particular point in time, you can use that police email, police link system that they have to send them the Google Maps and literally send them directions to the asset. Like, it doesn't get any more direct than that. Then at the very top, and this kind of integrates with the second feature on the app there called playback. So if I was to click on the orange tab here that says 1290, it brings up the playback. So what did the bike, in this case, last do? And it's going to show me the most recent trip. So because I've selected the motorcycle, that's what I most recently used, it'll show me the trip that it's done. It'll show me the amount of time I spent stopped versus moving, the maximum speed that I did on that trip, the average speed that I did on that trip. And I can even click this little stop sign symbol here, and it shows me the stops that I've made on that trip. And you can even see, if you go into the playback side of it, exactly how long I spent stopped at each one of those stops for. And there is a stop here where I've stopped for gasoline on the way into the Black Ops headquarters. So that feature is pretty cool in itself as well, especially if you're using this app not just for a security purpose for the vehicle, but more for like a tax purpose. So you could then sort of see, you know, what was personal use, what was work use. You could also use that in a legal defense if you were actually charged or intercepted by police and they said, hey, you were exceeding the speed limit in this area, and you know you weren't. You'd really want to be sure on that before you show them a GPS tracker. But you know you weren't, you can pull that up and say, well, actually, live view, this is me. If I go back to where you've alleged that I was speeding, I can actually demonstrate to you. Click play, here you go, and it's going to show your asset travel exactly through where that police interception was and at the exact speed that it was doing via GPS signal. So you could use that as a defense if in fact the police were wrong about your speed. Again, you'd want to make sure you weren't really speeding, otherwise you're going to give them some pretty damn good evidence. Another thing might be, especially in a legal defense, could be if the bike was actually stolen at that particular point in time. So say it was stolen for a 4 day period or a 2 hour period, or however long it takes you to get your shit together and actually get your asset back again. That's the whole point of this system, right? Is to get our assets back. But before we've got that asset back, they might have committed a few offenses, and those traffic signal cameras or speed traps, they don't know who was on the vehicle. They're going to send that out, and you might need evidence that it wasn't you. So you could say, hey, this is when I reported it stolen, and then between this point in time and this point in time, I was charged with this particular offense, and I can prove to you that this was actually the track, the path of the stolen vehicle. So there's a few features and perks with the live map and the playback feature sort of incorporated in together. And remember, you can click on this. If we go back out for a second and we go into playback, I can put in any date range there and any time period and actually be really quite specific with this, which could be very handy if you were using this for like a fleet perspective, or to check on, what your staff are up to if they're in company vehicles, or if you've got reps, how long do they spend at each stop. So there's a lot of, like extra perks to this, as this software was initially designed to be used for fleet tracking purposes, and we've taken a really good base and then elaborated off it to make it into a really fantastic security and apprehension system as well. Anyway, if you have any questions about this, you can email us at intel@blackops.com.au, or you can send a support ticket through and we'll get back to you very shortly. Until then, I'll catch you on the next video.